I'm gonna play a little clip from Therapy Jeff.
Okay. Shout
He
out to
makes a
Therapy
lot of
Jeff.
little reels on
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook.
Yeah, there
Yes.
we go.
What is
I've
Jeff's real
never heard
name?
of him before, so this was a delight for
Well,
me.
actually, I think he actually does it on TikTok, and then he just
Oh,
throws
okay.
it over to
On the other
Facebook.
channels.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So
That's
he
cool.
he is a licensed therapist.
Okay, that's even better.
I love his personality. He's
Yeah,
funny. He's kind of witty.
he is.
But
Therapist
I'm
Jeff.
I'm going to play his little clip about gaslighting ourselves.
Awesome.
I'm gonna do it again with the volume on.
That'll help.
This is how you stop gaslighting yourself. Instead of thinking, I'm probably just being super sensitive, be like, it doesn't matter how sensitive I am because all my feelings are valid and important, and the people that care about me want to know how I fucking feel, so I'm going to tell them. Instead of thinking this is the wrong way to feel, be like, actually, there is no wrong way to feel. That's not a thing. Feelings aren't wrong, no matter what my silly brain thinks or what stupid little men have told me. Instead of thinking, I'm hurt, but they had good intentions, so I'm going to let it go, be like, okay, noted, intentions are important. But what's more important is the impact of their words and actions, and I should tell them how they affected me, because if they cared about me, they'd want to be accountable and make me feel better.
That is Therapy Jeff on gaslighting ourselves.
Yeah.
So maybe we should start with what is gaslighting, because some people may not
Yeah,
know.
they may not know. Just pull up a authentic definition.
So it's a form of psychological manipulation
Mm.
in which the abuser attempts to sow doubt, self-doubt,
Mhm.
and confusion in their victim's mind.
Okay.
And I believe it came from a movie.
Hmm.
I think it originated from a movie where a guy was trying to like manipulate his wife, and he kept turning. So it was like an old movie.
Okay.
So they had gas lights,
Oh.
like lights that were powered by gas,
Okay.
and he would keep turning them down. And then when she would say like, "Oh, what's going on with the lights?" like he would be like, "Oh, what do you mean? They were always like this."
Mm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I never heard that context of it, but that's really interesting.
Yes. So it's usually like in a an abusive
Mhm.
relationship, right?
Mhm.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Okay. So in 1944 the film Gaslight,
Hmm.
that's what it was called. So yes.
Wow.
So it's where a person presents a false narrative to another group or persons, thereby leading them to doubt their perception and become misled, disoriented, or distressed.
Wow.
Yep. Typically for the gaslighter's benefit,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And actually, Dr. Romney was
Mhm.
on the Red Table Talk
Yep.
with
With
Jada
the
and
television.
them,
Yeah.
right? And she
And
was
them.
explaining, and them, she was explaining what gaslighting meant. And she was talking about how she was like, an important distinction between gaslighters and liars,
Mhm.
right? Because she said typically a liar will correct if you show them evidence,
Yeah.
right? So like if her example was like, "Oh, Jada, you were at the party," and Jada's like, "I wasn't at the party," and you were like, "Yes, you were." Like, let's say she saw them on
Yeah.
Facebook or something, right?
Yeah.
Like you were, and Jada's like, "I wasn't there. What are you talking about? I said I wouldn't go. I was not there." Right.
Mhm.
But then if you like, here's the picture of you at the
Yeah. I
party,
seen you. You
then
had a
Jada,
blue dress.
right, then Jada would be like, "I'm sorry. I just knew it would make you upset. You know, that's why I didn't tell you that I went." But a
Yeah.
gaslighter would be like, "Oh, so now you spying on me?"
Mhm. Oh, flipping the script.
Yeah, because now
Mhm.
they're shifting the focus from the fact that they lied about being at the party
Yeah.
to now I'm a victim of
Yeah.
you stalking me.
Exactly.
Right. So
Mm.
I'm completely changing the narrative, flipping the script, but I'm somehow victimizing myself, even though I'm the actual liar.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So
That's
yeah,
good.
so that's sort of the distinction that Dr. Romney outlined for us. But the what I love about this message with Dr. Jeff is
Mhm.
that it's saying that we gaslight
Oh yeah.
ourselves. So it's one thing to be in a relationship with someone and they do it to you,
Yeah.
right? But the crazy thing about gaslighting is that if people do it to you enough, you start to not trust yourself.
Yeah. I can
Because
see
if
that.
you keep telling me that my perception of reality is false
Then I'm
or
gonna start to
wrong,
believe that.
then you start saying like, "Well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I can't believe you thought that." Then you start to think, "Am I crazy?
Yeah.
Am I?" And that, I believe that's what happened in the movie Gaslight. Is that the
Mm.
woman started to doubt her own reality because she had some perception, and he kept like making it seem like she was crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what I love about
Mm.
what Dr. Jeff highlighted is that we do that to ourselves
Mm.
sometimes. Have
Yeah.
you ever gaslit? I'm like, how do you conjugate
Past
this?
tense, right?
Have you ever felt like you are gaslighting yourself?
Yeah, and when you played the video initially, I was just like, yeah, like let's go with this one because I think it's something that I know that I'm doing, but I guess I couldn't articulate what it actually was.
Okay.
So I think in my mind it would be like, oh, so sabotage, like that's what I'm doing. Like I want to talk myself out of it, but in reality, after hearing therapy Jeff, I was just like, no, that's definitely gaslighting. Like just not recognizing that my feelings are valid and what I'm feeling, and just kind of dismissing that all the time and telling
Yeah.
myself like you're all right, like you don't really feel like that, but I
Right.
do.
Right. I
Yeah.
feel like I do that sometimes too, or I'll be like, should I feel that
Yeah.
way?
Oh yeah. The should I?
Should I?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like, but should I doesn't take away from the actual experience of how
Yeah.
I feel. So
Yeah.
whether I should or not is actually irrelevant.
Yep.
Here we are.
Here we are.
And this is how I feel.
Yes,
Right?
which is totally I can feel this way because
Right, wrong, or indifferent, right? And that's essentially what therapy Jeff is
yeah.
saying is like, a lot of times, if we don't think that our feeling is warranted,
Yeah.
we will dismiss it.
Yeah. Yes.
Like, I shouldn't be upset by that,
Yep.
or this shouldn't make me mad, or that shouldn't make me sad, or I should be over this by now,
Ooh,
right?
that one, I should be over this by now is so me. Like, but who says that there's a time limit to this or that
Listen.
there's an end time to be like done? I think I've said that so many times just with dad issues or relationships. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to feel like this no more. Like, I want to be
You do
done. Yeah. Like, I need to get like, okay, you got 48 hours. After that, we gotta be done. Like, now we're out.
but that's dismissive, right? And I've
It
heard a lot of people
is.
say they're like, oh, I put a time limit on it, I let myself feel, and then after that, like, I make my, but it's like, is that healthy? Are you just
It's not.
are you just ignoring it? Are you dismissing it? Are you gaslighting it? Or
Yeah, after hearing therapist Jeff, I'm like, it's totally gaslighting because why am I not allowing myself to feel? And where is this coming from that I told myself that I cannot feel it? And I think a little bit of that is just being a black woman. Like, I don't got time. Like, I don't have
yeah,
time
like,
to be in this
feeling
moment.
is a
Yeah,
luxury. So
it's a luxury that I don't have time for. I don't have the capacity for it. I just have to keep moving and figuring things out. I think it's a lot for me. Like, a lot of the issues of me of like, okay, I'm a black woman. I don't have time for that. I'm a single mom. Like, I don't have time for that. Somebody else is depending on me. Like, I just got to keep going. And then how I was raised and seeing my mom not really delegate her own feelings, or even discussing them with us. It was just like, no, like, I'm good. We gonna keep moving. We gonna keep pushing. So I think a lot of that is in me too, where it's just like, no, I'm just gonna keep going, and I don't have time to worry about this. What I'm learning right now, though, is that you can do that, and it might, like we talked about last week, that that time heals all wounds type of thing, but
that time does not heal.
yeah, time does not, and it doesn't, because for a moment it would be like, okay, I'm fine, but eventually in time, like, that shit comes right back up. Like, it's
Yeah.
going to continue to sprout and show itself if you don't really allow yourself to heal
Yeah.
and fix it. So I think that's where I kind of am right now, where, and I'll have those moments where I'm like, nope, I can't feel like this right now. Like, I can't feel depressed, or I can't feel sad, or I can't feel salty that I made a bad choice. Like, I just got to keep moving. But I think now I'm just like, no, just feel it. And I think that's where I've been the last couple of months. But then again, I have those buildups where it's like, okay, you still feel like this, like, you got to be done. But it's just like, why am I rushing myself through it? So hearing this was like right on time to be like, well, why do you want to just rush through it? Because it's not going to help you. It's not fixing anything.
And I think too, it teaches people how to treat your feelings.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm gonna dismiss my own feelings,
Yeah,
then you're probably gonna dismiss my feelings
that's
too.
great. That's a great point.
Right. Because if I don't allow myself the room to feel, then why should you? Because I set the standard, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that I've done that a lot, right? Where I'm like, whatever happened, happened, and I'm like let me think about how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, but for feelings, technically, you just feel.
You just feel, yeah.
But it's like, well, let me think about how I feel
Yeah.
about that.
Yes.
And I think in
It's
that
wild.
process of thinking about how you feel, it's like you're trying to validate if the feeling is appropriate. But there is no such thing as appropriate feeling.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting about myself is that I'll do that to myself, but then with other people, I'll be like, your feelings just are. Like, I've seen people feel complete inappropriate ways, right? But I'll be like, that's how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it wrong? Yes.
But that's how you
Right?
feel.
Well, technically it's not wrong, but is it inappropriate?
Yes. Yep.
Right? Like, if you married, then why do you care about this other man? Right?
That's the part. But
it's inappropriate, but that's still how you feel.
All right, we're gonna put a pin right here. And I know I'm always talking. I hate to do this.
I think you get some type of small joy.
A mess. I hate it actually. But we'll be right back. Thank you for listening to Brunch with Bestie show. And we'll be right back.
Bye.
Bye.
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them.
The podcast pit is coming. The podcast pit is coming. Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the podcast pit.
What's the podcast pit?
I'm glad you asked. The podcast pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them.
The podcast pit is coming. The podcast pit is coming.
Wozy, it's Deshaun Showtime Watkins, and you can tune in to Compton Mania Monday nights, 9 o'clock on TGN. Wozy.
Only on TGN Sports.
Is it time for a career change? Are you looking for that role that pours back into your city? Bright Star Schools is an organization that is dedicated to supporting their educators to grow their careers, serving students and families all around the Los Angeles area. Apply now. Bright Star Schools is offering sign-on bonuses from $5,000 to $7,500. Bright Star Schools is your next career move. So apply today. Visit www.brightstarschools.org and click join our team or email your resume to teach@brightstarschools.org. Let's educate within.
It's Keith.
Welcome back to Brunch with Besties.
Hey.
I'm Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Today we're talking about gaslighting ourselves.
Oh,
The
yes.
self-manipulation.
Okay. Yes.
The self-doubt.
The self-doubt. My God.
Listen, the self-abuse.
Ooh,
because that's what
that is. That is what it is.
We're going to call stuff what it is today.
Okay.
So like I said, I think that some feelings could be inappropriate.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, okay, if you married, then why you care about what this other man think or who this other man is dating.
Yeah.
Right. If you're married.
Yeah.
Right. But so it's like that's inappropriate, but that's still how you feel.
Okay.
Right. So but I think for myself, I'll be like, I shouldn't care about this. So
Mm.
I'm going to choose not to. But I don't think you actually have a choice when it comes to feelings.
Yeah.
Like your feelings are a result of whatever is, like whatever
Mhm.
happened. So you can choose to navigate them. You can choose to regulate them, but they are what they are. You
Yeah.
can work yourself into a new feeling, right?
Mhm.
You can get perspective, right? And say, hey, I'm going to choose to reframe it, or I'm going to choose to learn from it. And
Yeah.
that takes away from the negative feeling. But at the end of the day, it just kind of is what it is.
It is. It really is. And the idea that, you know, you're not allowed, or you're not allowing yourself, at least in my case, to feel that. I'm pretty sure, like, neurologically, like, that has to be unhealthy somewhere. Like there has to be like some type of neurons that spin like we need to process this in some
Yeah.
way. So I would be interested to see like how the brain reacts to that when you don't feel the way you need to feel. And I feel like for me, when I don't, like, I feel like I'm driving myself to have like headaches or like other stuff, like just
Yeah.
not feeling well because I'm not processing however I feel in the right way.
I think it's like a form of escapism,
Mhm.
right? Where it's like, I'm going to become numb to this
Mhm.
and manipulate myself into thinking that I don't. So I'm probably going to occupy my mind with something else.
Yeah.
Maybe it's productive, maybe it's not. And actually, it probably isn't productive because it's not addressing the feeling. So even if
Absolutely.
it manifests itself in a way that is productivity, right? Like, oh, I'm going to go work out.
Yeah.
Cool. You're
Yep.
fit, but you still feel how you feel.
Right.
With your fit self.
Right. With your fit self.
You're
Listen,
fine.
I mean, you're bad, but
right. But you still feel how you feel.
listen, your inside still suck.
But
Okay.
I also think that we teach
Mm.
ourselves and our kids to do that.
Yeah.
Like how many times do kids, and it's so what I love about kids is that they don't have a perception of like how they should be.
Yeah.
So they
Because they just
do.
are. Yeah.
Same thing with the puppy, right? Like when I
Yeah.
left that one day, when I tell you, he first of all, my puppy's a mute. Okay, he doesn't bark. He doesn't do any of that, right? The only thing he does is he'll like whimper or cry if he's sad,
Yeah.
right? Like if you leave. But when I tell you, not only did he whimper and cry and pull and tug and moved my very, very heavy table
Yeah, he was mad.
that I can't even move, but he barked, and I was like, "You've never done that."
Aww.
Right? But like he displays however he feels, he's displaying that emotion. If he's mad, he will walk away.
Yeah. He like, I gotta speak today
Okay.
because
He's like, you don't get it. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Not only was he, so I got that now, not only was he sad, but he was pissed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Because he moved the table.
Yes. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. And like my niece, she'll just say, like, I don't want you to have that. You know what I mean? Because that's how she feels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But a lot of times when kids do that, we'll tell them, like, you have to share and da da da. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I saw this thing on Instagram where it was like, yeah, I don't tell my kids that they have to share because they get to have things for themselves.
Yeah.
So I give them the choice, like,
Yeah.
hey, your sister also wants to play with this. Would you like to share with her?
Yeah.
You know?
That's good.
And I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, because that was definitely not how I was parenting.
Right.
It was like,
Usually
you got
what-
to.
Usually what happens is the child will say or somehow express that they don't want to share.
Yeah.
And then the parent will be like, you weren't thinking about that toy until the other person
Mhm.
came and got it. And then they'll take it and just give it to them and completely dismiss
Yeah.
that child's feelings. So then we're teaching the child that their feelings don't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Look at the parent being a gaslighter. Like,
But-
you wasn't even thinking about
Yeah.
it. It wasn't bothering you.
Right.
Oh, man.
And then we grow up and now here we
Yeah.
are.
Listen, it doesn't even matter. You wasn't even thinking about
And
that.
that's what we'll tell
Yeah,
ourselves,
for
right?
sure.
Like, oh, it don't matter. I wouldn't even really. But it's like, okay, but you're thinking about it right now.
Exactly.
And right now it's causing you pain.
And then it like randomly you think about it like every so often you're like, what the heck? Like, why am I even thinking about this right now?
Exactly.
So wow, that is good.
But feelings also change.
That's true. It's very
Right?
fickle. Mm-hmm.
Feelings are fickle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I wonder why we're so afraid of the feeling, given that they change.
Yeah, and I think it's in association with those feelings that are more negative, like sadness, depression, anger, like those type of feelings are just like, I don't want that. But when we're happy, I don't think we dismiss that as much, you know?
Some people do.
True. That is true. Some
Like a
people
lot
will
of
dismiss
times,
their
if
happiness.
you just
Oh,
like
like Sarah Jakes Roberts was talking about in the Black mental wealth seminar. But go ahead. Yes.
yeah, and a lot of times too, like even if you compliment somebody,
Yeah.
they'll downplay. Oh,
Yeah.
you know this whole thing, or
Yeah.
I, oh, you cute today. Oh, just trying to keep up with you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's just kind of what we do because we want to like knock ourselves back down. Because I think that
Yeah,
it's
it's
it's the
another Black
fear.
thing.
Yeah, well, I think it's like the fear of like I don't want you to knock me down.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to get too high because then it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we tell ourselves that we're trying to like display humility, right? Like I'm trying to be humble,
Or I'm not better than, or
right? But I think sometimes it's more of like a fear of the actual fall. Like, oh, I did really achieve something great. Can I keep that up? Was that
Yeah.
a fluke? Was that really me?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how I got there. So it's
Yeah.
like the self that, or maybe it's just gaslighting.
Yeah. That is it. And like I just mentioned, it definitely makes me think about Sarah Jakes Roberts, how she was like, I was on the New York Times bestsellers list, and I was still like, okay. Like she wasn't even phased by that. Where, some other person might be like, oh my God, like this is amazing. But yeah, just that self-doubt of it all.
I was at the TD Jakes conference, Woman Thou Art Loose, and he was talking about how like when something great happens to him, right? Like for example, while we were there, Amazon gave him like all his sermons and stuff are gonna be on Amazon Prime. Like it's crazy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's dope,
That
right?
is
Amazing,
dope.
right? But he was like, when like big monumental things happen, people are like, oh my God, aren't you excited? And he's like, I'm scared, I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm blessed, I'm terrified, I'm nervous,
Okay.
right?
All the
like I'm
feels.
confident, but not too. So it's like I feel all of that,
Yeah.
right? It's like it's all the same. And he was talking about how there's things that come with blessings, right? And how it's like there's a cost, right? So I think
there is a cost.
that even when you do become New York Times bestseller, and I was like, okay, well, if I release another book and it's not a New York Times bestseller, then am I good?
That I'm sure that has to be very frightening. And even with us, like some of our shows, I'm like, okay, is this gonna be a good show? Like, are people going to vibe with it? Are people gonna listen to it? Is somebody gonna get something out of it?
Right.
So even I have those thoughts too, like after we record shows, and sometimes I'm like, wow, that show was tight, like that's my favorite show, like we did that. But then, after that, I'm like, but what if people don't like it the way I liked it? So it's just like, here's that gaslighting myself. Like, come on, it's out there. Like, those who want to love the show, they will, and those who don't, that's okay. Like, y'all did it. So yeah, that is interesting. I'm sure that has to be terrifying for like a lot of artists too. Like if their first project is like phenomenal and then the second one is just like,
Or think about even Oprah, right? So people have only known Oprah to be successful, right? But when she started the OWN network, she was like, this is new. I have not done this.
Yeah.
I know that y'all think because I'm Oprah stuff just works, but that's not actually how it goes.
That's a great example.
Right? And OWN struggled.
Yeah.
Right?
It did.
So it's like,
that's a great example.
Especially when you do something new.
Yeah, that's huge.
That's not, maybe it's related to what you do. Like think about even TD Jakes. He's done CDs, movies, TV shows, sermons, conferences,
everything.
But when we were at the conference, he was like, y'all think that y'all paid for my blazer. He was like, I'm hoping to just be able to pay everybody. Right. And then it was like I don't know if it was the last day or second to last day. He was like, good news. Everyone's going to get paid.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Because he's like, with COVID prices, I got to pay 3 times as much.
Oh, yeah.
I got to pay people to come in and clean up after 20,000 women.
Yeah, yeah,
after people escort and usher y'all inside and out. And then he said for every artist, and when I tell you, it was an abundance of famous people there.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So he's like, it's not just them, it's their staff.
Wow.
I got to house them, feet like, it's a lot.
It's a lot that y'all don't see.
Right.
I'm just letting y'all know.
And then he's like, I got to pay for each one of these screens and every curtain, right? Like, this is not what you think it is. Y'all just thinking like, oh, I got to pay, some of these seats is $800 and this one was $250
yeah.
For one person. Okay.
But it's millions of dollars to run the show. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's all the people behind the scenes.
That's wow. Yeah. And we don't always see the bigger picture
Sometimes you don't see the big
a
picture. But I'm sure every time he does Women That Are Loose, it's like, are people gonna buy? Is it gonna sell out?
I'm sure
Is it
that's
gonna,
so
you know what I
scary.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to put yourself out there.
I'm sure it's terrifying. And same with his daughter and taking on what he has gifted to her. I'm sure that's and I think she's been vocal about it. Like, yeah, this is like what?
Whoa.
Yeah. So yes.
Scared. Okay.
Scared with a T, do you hear me? So yeah, and like I said, I get it with the podcast and different guests that we have. I'm just like, hope this is received well. Like sometimes I'm nervous. And yeah, or as we move forward with some goals that we have, just like, okay, is this all gonna work out?
How we doing now?
Yeah,
is that happening?
Oh,
what if this? Well, now this is on the line, right? And that's what happens every time we take another step forward. You putting something else on the line.
Yes.
The more you do, the more it costs.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So yes.
Yeah. So I'm
There's
definitely
that.
Yeah, there's definitely that. But I love the example that you made about like children or even our pets. They just feel how they feel. Like they just are. And there is no second guessing that. But at some points kids turn into teenagers and then young adults and then adults, because I'm just thinking about my own kid and where he is. Like I think now he's at an age where he is like, now he's probably starting to gaslight himself. Like, okay, should I be feeling like this?
Like, think about time, especially black boys.
Yeah, boys. Yes,
they're not even allowed to cry,
and that's the part I was about to bring up.
To feel.
They're not allowed to feel.
And so then it's like, think about. So at the end of the day, these are children.
Period.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times when they have emotions, it'll manifest itself as tears.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get mocked and made fun of for that. Oh, you crying? Yes, because I'm hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And actually crying is a normal
reaction,
response and reaction
to pain and hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what happens when one feels something. Like that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But people will mock you for it, and
so crazy. It is.
So then you have to be conscious of how, and it's crazy because I saw something on Facebook. It says something to the extent of a lot of times what we think about ourselves is what we think other people think about us.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
If that even makes sense.
It does. It does
right?
make sense.
So then it's like we have to keep up with that charade.
Yep.
If I think that you think that I'm tough,
mm-hmm.
a tough guy, a tough kid, or whatever, I'm the popular guy at school or whatever, then I probably shouldn't cry.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to fit the narrative.
I got to keep the facade going.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go cry in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna teach myself how not to cry.
Yeah, I'm gonna suppress it.
Or I'm going to, every time I want to cry, I'm going to start a fight.
Absolutely. And you see that a lot. Again, I work at schools. So you see that behavior so much, and especially the boys, that's their reaction is to the reaction that's normal for most men and boys is anger. So I'm going to go immediately to that.
Because anger is acceptable.
That's cool. Yeah, I could do anger. I could be angry.
Because I might get in trouble with the teachers, but all the kids going to be like,
oh, yeah, they're going to think twice.
Right.
Before they look at me. Okay.
But I'm going to do whatever I can do not to feel this again. So.
But feelings like sadness and depression and hurt, that was not so cool. Like I can't do those ones. And that's where I feel like, having a son and watching him kind of navigate through those things and trying to, as his mom, tell him like it's okay to feel how you feel. But then he goes into other environments where that's not the case. Like, he sees dad and dad is not very emotional. Or he's with different coaches and they're telling him like don't show any emotion or just other things. So then he's like, okay, well, who do I need to be listening to? Like, where do I fit in?
And then the second he started dating, they're gonna be like, so how do you feel?
Exactly. And then he's gonna be like
feel
what's that? and that's my issue. Like I'm always thinking about that part. Like I don't want him to run into a girl, and he's had that a couple times already where girls are just like, oh, you're too nice, and I don't like that about you, that you're so nice and you're giving. But I'm like, don't lose that. Like, if that's you, be that, because that's who you are. Like, that's your core characteristic, and that's okay. But then if he has so many girls like telling him like, I don't want to be like that, now I gotta put on this facade, and I don't want to be like that because I don't want to show that. So it's just like, it's a crazy time for kids.
Yeah.
Or for people, period. Because I feel like it's so much awareness now that we're aware of all of the wrong teachings. But then when you're aware, like, do you have the tools? Do you have what you need to do to fix that?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
no, but a lot of times we will talk ourselves out of feeling a certain way or talk ourselves into feeling a certain way.
Child.
Or, and the other thing that Jeff brought up was intent.
Yeah.
We'll be like, oh, but they didn't mean it, so therefore I shouldn't feel
I
this way.
shouldn't feel that way. Yep.
And I think sometimes too, even in dialogue with people, with the ones who cause the pain, it's like that's their remedy to take it away. It's like, oh, but I didn't mean it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't mean it, so there goes the feeling.
Whew, right. Glad that's over with.
Glad we cleared that up. I no longer am hurt because you didn't mean it.
Like, what?
I saw this on I don't know if it was TikTok or Facebook, but the mom gave her son a sheet of paper, like a clean sheet of paper, and she was like, now ball it up, and he balls it up and crinkles it and does all whatever, it's all messed up, and she's like, now smooth it back out. And then he smoothed it out, and she was like, now tell it you're sorry, and he was like, I'm sorry, and she was like, did it fix it? And he was like, no. She was like, exactly.
Now y'all know I love a great analogy. That's another great visual analogy to be like, that don't work.
I saw another one where the mom gives the boy a plate and tells him to throw it down, and it shatters, right? And she's like, now tell it you're sorry, and he was like, I'm sorry, and she was like, say it again, I'm sorry. Say it again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She was like, did it fix it? And he was like, no. And she's like, exactly.
Exactly. I should do that in my class. Like kindergarten, like they're like the kids will really
now with the plate though, because
oh yeah, I ain't gonna do that with no plate. But the balled up paper, that'll work. Cause kids will literally like turn around, like be talking to another kid, turn around, punch a kid in the stomach, and then go back to doing whatever they were doing. They'll be like, "Oh, I said I was sorry." Like,
because that's supposed to fix it. That fixes everything.
But you literally punched this kid, and they were crying. Like, I see this so much where I just be like, "What?" Like, well, I said I was sorry, but you're sorry for what? And then they be like, I don't know.
Right. Because I think that's what we teach as well. Right. God. Where it's like, hey, if you didn't do it on purpose,
say you sorry.
And if you have regret, then you done. Right.
That's it. That's the end of it.
Tell them that you didn't mean it, and tell them that you sorry, and we good.
And that's the end of it. But it's not, because I'm over here, I got punched in the stomach, and I'm really hurt about it. And I'll be a kids are resilient, because maybe 10 minutes later, kids forgot they got punched in the stomach. They're like, whatever. But when you think about that, like, yeah, like I do need them to see that I'm sorry. It's not.
Yeah, it's like you need.
What we think
like
it
he
is.
said, you
need changed behavior.
Indeed, right? But like he said, he was like, maybe it wasn't their intention,
and that's fine. Yep.
Right. But maybe they are sorry.
Yep. Still enough.
That can be true, but you're still stuck here with your feeling.
Still feel how I feel.
Okay. And if you think about it, the I'm sorry and I didn't mean it, that's not even about me.
Yeah.
That's technically about you.
Yeah.
The one who inflicted the pain. So we still haven't even addressed me.
Yeah.
You're sorry and you didn't mean it.
And that don't got nothing to do
with me. Are you done talking about yourself?
Exactly. Because I don't see how this helps me.
This actually doesn't help me
in any moment.
So let me know when you're done talking about you.
That is so good. And I don't think I've thought.
But I think that's the first like go to. It's like, I didn't mean it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm sorry I didn't mean it.
But it's like there's no amends.
Yeah.
That's an apology.
Not at all.
Right, but where's the making it right?
Yeah. And that's where I feel like the change behavior comes in. Like you have to change whatever took place. Like you have to be intentional to change that. To say, okay, I said I'm sorry. This person feels this way about whatever it is, and I can no longer do whatever it is that I'm doing. Like I have to change that behavior
because I'm going to acknowledge their feeling,
right?
Because their feeling is valid, and that's the whole point. Is that regardless, let's just say that I didn't hit you in the stomach, right? Because that's an obvious like whoa,
Yeah.
right?
Ha.
But let's say the kid, I don't know, is always eating your snacks. I don't know.
Okay.
Right? I don't know. Whatever. Or maybe something that's not that other people may not think is offensive.
Yeah.
Maybe the other kid,
So in my class, this one boy always like covering this other little girl like name tag with his paper, and she really be mad about it like every day. Like, tell him to move his paper. I be like, oh my god, okay, where's the fire? Like,
right, exactly.
She's really angry about it.
She's really angry about it.
Yeah.
Right. And so for him, he probably is like, don't even notice that the paper's over the name
And he
tag because he
doesn't.
could care less.
He
right?
is oblivious.
But what Jeff is saying is that the whole point is that if I feel this way about it, you should care
Yep.
because my feeling is valid.
Period. Yes.
Right.
Yep. Period. That is so
Because
good.
just because you don't understand why I don't like your paper being over my name,
It don't matter.
don't mean that you can just put your paper over my
Yeah.
name.
And that
Or
it don't
just
matter.
because your other friends don't care about you putting your paper over their name,
Listen,
don't mean that that's gonna fly over here.
it ain't gonna work.
And
this
if
way.
I've told you that and you just keep doing it, that means that you not only don't care, but you don't respect my boundaries
Ooh,
or my
that
feelings.
part. Yes.
Right. So it's like when people keep doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
you're like, we already talked about this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what happens is when you talk about stuff, people are sorry. Like they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna apologize, and then we're gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So then they apologize. But what I've learned is that I actually have to get a commitment from that person that they will not do that.
Yeah.
Because like they can say they're sorry all day, but the next time the scenario presents itself, because they didn't see anything wrong with it,
Exactly. They're just
they will
gonna
do the
it.
same thing.
Yeah, they're gonna do the exact same thing
Mhm.
again. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's not enough. The apology is not ever gonna be enough. Because I need you to really see that
Like
I'm
you don't
affected.
get it. Right.
Yeah, you don't get it.
Because because you wouldn't feel that way.
Yep.
But we ain't talking about you. Because remember, we already talked about you and we talked about how you were sorry.
Exactly. And that don't help me.
And about how you didn't mean it. That's what we
Yes.
was talking about you. Because
Mhm.
I didn't bring that up. You did.
Yeah,
That was
nope.
you.
That's
I'm telling you that I don't like how this makes me feel.
ooh, yes. I love it. And I think we do need to stand on that. Like this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah, like I don't like it, period. And we need to stand on that with ourselves.
Yeah. Ooh, yes. Ooh. That part.
We gotta stop dismissing it with ourselves.
That is the whole part. Man.
Because if we gonna go in this hard on somebody else,
yeah, you better be
we
able,
got to
willing
be able to
it
do
for
that
yourself.
for ourselves.
Ooh, yes. I got to. This whole episode is so enlightening. Like I gotta girl, feel it. Feel. And it's okay to
And
feel.
it's okay.
Like don't dodge the feeling. Don't just keep moving. Just feel how you feel. And that's cool.
Right.
It's not right or wrong. Like just feel.
Right. Like today I called my sister and I was
Mhm.
like, how's my puppy? What is he
No.
doing? And then I'd be like, I can't believe that this creature,
It really is a creature. That's crazy.
excuse me, that this creature,
Whole animal.
whole animal, which I'm against.
With
okay?
fur.
With hair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would have never, if this was 10 years ago, I would not believe
I wouldn't
nobody
believe
tell
it
me
either.
like
I'd be like,
she gonna have a puppy and
What's
she
wrong
gonna let
with
the
her?
puppy in her house
Mm-mm.
and in her space.
Mm-mm. Nope.
I would have been like, Sherry Renee, who? Because
It's a strong no for me.
I don't know this girl.
Don't know her.
I've never met her.
Right.
I don't know.
But yeah, but I'd be like, I just can't, because I still haven't made, like, I'm still working on acceptance.
Yeah.
Because I will, like, I'll call and I'll be like, now, what's my puppy doing? Is he
Aw.
okay? Did he go potty?
Listen,
Did he make it
you're
through the
so
night?
invested.
Is he good? You know, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll be like, I can't believe this creature be at my house.
Listen.
Invading all my little space.
In your personal space,
in
for
my
sure.
personal space. Like, I can't believe this.
And you
but-
be standing outside in the cold.
Now that part and the whole picking up the poop thing. Like Bridget made this status and she was like, I just can't believe because she got Bella.
Oh,
who's a
yeah,
poodle,
yeah.
And she was like, never did I imagine that I'd be so invested in her poop. Like I pick up the poop,
gotta
I
look
wait
at
for
it.
her to poop. And then I was thinking like, okay. I told her, I said, I feel the same way about my stolen puppy. I was like, not only am I out here watching poop, I'm taking pictures of the
Yeah,
poop.
sometimes you gotta
I'm
look at
investigating
it.
poop 'cause I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out if he's good, is he sick, is he
Yeah.
okay, am I feeding him right, does he need to eat some more of this and less of that?
Yeah.
He's a puppy. Is he gonna die? Like what's going on?
And
I mean,
all of these thoughts are so
all of these
valid.
thoughts.
Valid,
Right.
yes.
Is he still breathing?
Listen, because listen.
If he get too silent, I'm like, puppy. Then I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, because he a baby, we got to make sure that you good.
Listen,
so
when I tell you half of my Google searches are like, are literally about.
Said,
I'm like, what does it mean when the puppy licks his paws?
Listen.
What does it mean when the puppy licks my hand? What does it mean with, like, literally? Because I'm like, is he okay? Because he can't talk, right? So I need to know if he's all right.
And Google knows everything.
Google knows everything.
So that is so funny. There's another meme too. Where it's like when you first get a dog and you picking up poo versus like when you like been with him and it's just like, okay, go. Like you get so comfortable with poo. And me too.
I don't know if we gonna ever get there, child.
Because I could barely change my kid diaper when he would poo. I used to be like, ugh. Especially those ones where we like go up the back in the diaper. And I used to be like, just get a whole kid away because I can't do this. But then we got Milo, and I was like, just picking up poo in my hand.
Like, now, I'm not there yet, so I have a contraption.
Okay. Okay, so you fancy with it.
Yes.
Okay.
And a bag goes over said contraption.
That's cool.
And then you pick it up, you scoop it, and it goes into the bag automatically, so you don't even have to see it.
See?
It's amazing.
Listen.
And then you just tie the bag with it still being in the contraption, and then you just drop it in the trash, like you release it.
Oh, cool!
It's amazing. Love it. Don't have to touch the poop. Don't out because I was like, I don't want to do that. That's boundaries. That's not happening.
Girl.
But I don't mind changing kid pampers though. Ooh. You know, my brother got 17 kids, so I don't care.
Yeah, poop ones, I was out, especially if he was sick. Like I just can't do that.
Nah, that's how you. I guess I didn't really care about the poopy diapers for kids. That I just talk about it while I'm doing. I'm like, you a stinky butt? Yes, you are.
I used to hate it. Ooh, and then if like my finger would touch it, I would like fall apart. Like it's poop on my hand. Like no, I'm out. So yeah.
Nah, I'd be like, so here's a picture of her poop. Is this okay? Because it's a little watery and I gave her some milk, but you know, like, no, because I be wanting to know, like, is the kid gonna die in my care?
Right. Is the kid good?
The kids in my care need to make sure that they're gonna make it, that they're alive. Don't want to be, I cannot replace this child.
Oh God. I'm sorry, y'all. We went a whole sidebar about poop, but hey. But it was related to
somehow, some way.
Yes, to the feelings and the boundaries that we need to have.
Listen.
Hilarious.
And what I love, and then too, because back to how puppies, they just feel what they feel.
What
like,
they are.
He'll just follow you wherever. But I think I told you, I was like, if he thinks that I'm about to do something, like every time I put my foot down, his paw is somehow underneath. I'm like, why are you like, just sit?
That is funny.
Just sit. But he's like, no, wherever you go, that's where I'm going.
Yes. If y'all got dogs, like share with us. Because I love dog stories. I think dogs are the best thing to men. Like
you used to always say that, and I used to strongly disagree.
Oh my God.
Now I'm coming around. Now I'm more centered.
Ooh, dogs are amazing. Like DMX was not lying when he was like he would prefer dogs over people. Like they're just amazing animals.
I will say this though. I think where I was like, okay, I might be able to rock with this dog is because there was one night where there was a spider in my house, and I was like,
oh, what do you do?
And, you know, I'm definitely afraid of spiders. Okay, I don't care if they're small. A spider's a spider. A bug is a bug, as far as I'm concerned.
It's got to go.
And I was like, dang, now I gotta kill it because I ain't gonna be able to sleep, right? So I got up, and as soon as I got up, he got up.
Oh, he was gonna protect you.
I know. I was like, you really can't because you just a little puppy.
Oh, he was gonna try.
But I like the energy.
Listen, I like where you're going. I like where you at. Okay, I love it. I love that.
Yes.
We're actually about to go into our next break, but shout out to Panda for having your back. He was like, I got this. Don't worry.
He was like, where we going? Oh, there's a spider. Okay. I got this. I don't bark. I don't bite.
Listen, but
I'm only 6 months.
Listen,
but
I got your back.
I'm gonna be right here.
And just like that, y'all, thank you for listening to Brunch with Bestie show. Y'all got our back, so we'll be right back.
Culver City, they have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey,
Welcome to Brunch with Bestie.
Hey.
We're talking about 12 signs you have a toxic relationship with healing. Yes, and we just got done talking about how you don't create infrastructure like a healing an environment that's conducive for healing. Like you think that you can change, but nothing else has to change. So you want to keep doing the same things that you were doing, but you think that your outlook is enough to stop you from your own detriment.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like the sum up. That was great. All right. We are on number 11. We almost there, y'all. We get in there. So I would say my final thoughts on sign 11. That is, but go, because this is weird. Sorry, I was trying to figure it out.
Okay, thanks for tuning back in to Brunch with Besties.
We're back.
Technical difficulties, but we are back.
Yeah, I don't think our commercials are in.
Okay, well, we're talking about gaslighting ourselves and how we unfortunately have been doing that. So how can we stop? Like, how can we stop gaslighting ourselves
That's good.
and allowing others to gaslight us?
I think a few things is and as we're talking about this, it just makes me think of Robin Bloom. Shout out to Robin Bloom. And it just makes me think about accountability of just when you feel it coming, because at least for me, like I could feel myself doing it. Like I know it's coming and I can feel myself doing it, but just saying, hey, like why are you doing this right now? Like really having that conversation with yourself to be like, it's okay to feel however you feel. Like you're okay. Like don't try to suppress it or bypass this. Like feel how you're feeling. So I think being accountable and being aware is what's definitely going to help you. At least that's what I've been noticing within myself. And it's been like loud and clear as day, where it's just like, you are doing that again. Like I can see it so clearly now. And it's just like, don't do that. Because in 6 months, you're going to revisit this feeling if you don't just stop and deal with it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like the whole idea of how we think about how other people think about us.
That's good.
Right. And just letting that whole narrative go.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, we're complex human beings.
Multifaceted.
Right. You're still like, we were talking about like the child athlete who wants to cry today. He's still an athlete.
Yeah.
Or you're still all these things,
all the
right?
things,
Even
yeah.
if you are depressed in the moment or whatever it may be, like you don't lose any of those other things. Like you don't have to pick.
Yeah.
It's not like, I mean,
That's
although
good.
you will get like for kids, they tend to get a label like, oh, now you're a crybaby.
Yeah.
Because you cried
it's
yesterday.
So sad.
Like,
Yeah.
now you're forever a crybaby.
Right. Forever. I cried one time in kindergarten. Now I'm a crybaby.
But it's crazy though, because stuff like that does
It's stick forever.
Shouts out to Scarlett. So we were at shouts out to my line sister Samantha. We were at her engagement party and people were calling Scarlett, this is her family. Scarlett's family was calling her a nickname.
Shut up.
I cannot repeat.
We ain't
'cause
gonna
she
say
will
it, but
kill
I already
me.
know. But really, the family was calling her that.
And Scarlett was like, I just don't understand how we got here. And I was like, Scarlett, that was like 20 years ago. And she was like, Sherry, that's not even my nickname. She was like, you said that because people were calling you your nickname.
I cannot.
So you threw this out and somehow it got to my family. I'm like, that's so crazy because I didn't even say it in front of your family. At least I don't think I did. I
cannot.
I said it one time because they, folks are calling me.
And that
my
mug stuck.
nickname.
Do you hear me?
So then I threw out hers, which hers doesn't even make sense.
Not at all, does it? And
it makes no sense.
Like, how do a family know?
I don't know, but when I tell you, I was like, when I heard them do that, I was like, oh my God.
It's stuck.
What have I done? The impact.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Did I mean it? No. But the impact.
And 20 years later, here we are.
20 years later, she's in misery.
Gee, I can't.
Because her family refuses to give up this nickname. This nickname that makes no sense, that has nothing to do with
that
her
was just
family.
literally thrown out there.
It was just thrown out there. That apparently that I must have done in a retaliatory way. because it didn't make no sense.
I got one for you.
Right. I was like, don't be calling me this, call her that. And then she was like, I have nothing to do with the fact that they calling you this name.
It wasn't even me.
It wasn't even me.
Ooh,
She was just there.
nicknames.
She got hit in the crossfire.
Yes.
And now here we are.
I am hollering like, what? Their family
yes.
pulled up and called her that. Okay. Hilarious.
Lord.
Yes.
So,
those things
don't
will
throw
stick.
out nicknames.
Especially around
They will
us. No,
stick.
they will stick. Not around us. They're gonna stick.
And that's why, like, mine, I try not to tell people because the second that they hear it, they're like, oh, yeah. And then they just roll with it. And I'm like, you don't know me like that.
Yeah, at all.
You do not know me like that. So it's a strong no.
See, that is hilarious. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
So
you can't be
I
labeled.
think it's about you know, not boxing yourself in.
Yeah.
Because, some people be like, yeah, I cried, but I'll still whoop your butt.
Okay.
Don't
Listen,
get it twisted.
Don't ever
I'm
get it
still
twisted
that one.
or confused. Just know. Listen, I might be crying, but these hands just fine. Don't
These hands is just
hey,
fine.
Don't trip.
So yeah,
Man.
and then I think it's about giving others a space to feel.
Mhm.
So like, and too, a lot of times we try to shut people's feelings up.
Yeah,
And
because it makes us uncomfortable.
It makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So we'll tell them, "I know you're okay."
Yeah.
No, you're uncomfortable with me not being okay. I
Yeah.
just said that I'm not okay, right?
Yeah.
So it's that. But then I think it's I saw this one post years ago where this lady, she was like a nutritionist or something, and she was like, when you overeat, you're punishing your body for telling you how it feels.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, huh.
Jeez, get out my business, lady.
I just want chips.
Right. Goodness.
Can I snack?
So I'm not supposed to eat these 3 bags of chips.
So yeah.
Oh my God. I'm crying. Crazy. Insane, actually.
Insane. So yes, I think it's about giving us ourselves time to sit with it. And sometimes we might feel like, okay, I just learned some devastating news and I'm not in a space that's conducive for me to feel.
That's good.
Right.
And sometimes, yeah, that can happen for sure.
And sometimes that's maybe you're at work, maybe you're in a meeting, maybe you're supposed to be delivering something.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be whatever your title is at that moment.
Yeah.
Right. So you might not be able to, but then realize that before I'm this title, I'm actually a human being.
Period.
Right. So if in the moment, if I have to be this, fine. But but the question is, do I really have to?
Right.
Right. Because sometimes we force ourselves to do things that we really don't have to and we could delegate.
Yeah.
Or we'll allow ourselves to believe that we have to because we're more comfortable with that. We're uncomfortable with our own feelings.
Yeah. It's easier to do that than face what's really
It's another form of
happening.
escapism.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nope. Sorry. Can't do this right now. Can't feel right now. I gotta go be whatever to someone else. So can't do it.
I know all about that. So I'm just like, yeah, I could do that for sure.
But sometimes it's like, you know what? Do I need to?
No.
Such and such, can you do this for me today?
Exactly.
I need to go lay down, journal, cry.
All of that.
All of that.
In the dark. Yeah. I need to do all of it.
You need to go work through some things.
Ooh, Jesus. Wow. No,
is everything good? Not right now, but it will be.
I think that is so major, like just admitting it. Like I'm not good right now.
Not right now, but it will be because feelings change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I need to process some things.
Yep. That is major.
I need to feel how I feel right now, and then in time get a new perspective.
There we go.
Right. Or maybe my perspective is right, and maybe I just need to change some things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to realize that I'm accountable to this feeling.
That.
Right. And or maybe I need to understand that I'm enabling this feeling.
Oh, yes.
Maybe I'm even encouraging this feeling because maybe I do have some self-sabotage behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang, that's good. All of this is good. And definitely so many takeaways from it of just reevaluating, how you feel and understanding that that's okay, and that as Black women, it can no longer be a luxury to feel like we have to make it a priority. Yeah. That's good, man. So good that it cannot be a luxury. It has to be a priority.
Yeah, because I mean, life is about to keep lifing.
Girl, life got hands right now. I'm like, I don't know. Cause life is life, and do you hear me? Like this point in time of adults and millennials, like what else are we gonna go through as millennials? Like what else does life have for us in store? Because it's been a lot.
I think I saw something and it was like, oh, like millennials are really struggling because they had to go through this, and this, and they don't know how to process. And then somebody was like, correction, white millennials are doing this. We've, like, the black population has been doing this.
Forever.
FYI.
Since we got here. Literally.
It's like, we're going to make a small edit to that little statement that was made there.
Goodness, it's never ending for us. We were just talking the other day about like just random stuff. And it was like, dang, everything is rooted in slavery. Like the black dog.
Treadmills.
Yeah, we're talking about treadmill
Oh,
and the
and the
black
black
dog.
dog.
Yeah. It's like, what else? Jeez.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But the treadmill thing, that was crazy. Like, I don't know if y'all heard about that, but I had never heard about that. And that was insane.
Yeah, I think it said that the original purpose of the treadmill was like
Punishment.
for punishment
Yeah.
for slaves.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
that's crazy. And then you doubled down on it and told me that black dogs are the last ones to get adopted. And I was like, oh, no.
Yes. And the first ones to be euthanized.
That's crazy.
Which was insane. I'm like, damn, even black dogs got it rough out here.
But I mean, that makes sense though, because I mean, if the people that are adopting them are typically white people,
Sure.
maybe they don't want a black dog.
But I mean, it's the same stigma too. I think it's like black animals, period, because black cats have a bad rap too.
Black cats, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Like there's a
it's
whole
like scary. Yeah.
legacy
Yeah.
thing there. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think black, yeah. So it is a little different because black dogs.
My grandmother actually used to have a black cat.
Really?
Buffy for years.
And the cat name was Buffy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm scared.
And like we used to go down in her basement, and you know how like old people houses, they didn't have like a light switch. You had to go to the center of the room
and pull the string. That used to be so scared. Then sometimes it wouldn't work. You used to be like,
yeah,
no.
like, oh. So as a kid, like I would go down there and all you would see is Buffy's eyes, and she would be sitting high somewhere like on a shelf or something. So all you see is these green cat eyes,
girl,
like suspended in the air. So I'd be like, I ain't going in the basement.
I would have been, I would be like,
now.
nah, I can't go down there. I'm sorry. Like, flashlight me, please, to get here. That's so scary.
It is scary.
Like, no.
But yeah, black cats do have a rap. That's true.
They do. They do. So
maybe like don't walk past the black cat. It's
no, you can't cross them. Yep. Yeah. It's crazy. So, but yeah, the black dog thing, I was so hurt because I'm like, damn, they the first ones to be killed too. Like, that's so terrible. Like, oh, but yeah, so that's just learning that, you know, as black people, like we can't continue to just gaslight our own feelings or sabotage our own feelings. Like, our feelings are valid, and how we feel is valid. And it's a lot, again, protect your peace, because it's a lot happening right now in the world too, whether, you know, you're aware of it or not. But I just feel like it's a rough time, man. It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on. I think I choose right now to not engage.
Girl,
like
same. I've been trying to, and like I said, just not following certain stuff on social media, or trying to limit the social media that I watch to, you know, more uplifting stuff, because it is a lot happening. It's just like I can't deal with everything. Not at all. So yes, protect your peace at all costs, for sure. But also allow yourself to feel, man. It's important. You have to.
So what goes in the to-go box?
Yeah, I think that is what I'm taking away. And for me personally, I think I'm so glad that we had this conversation. I'm so glad that I have been aware, because like I said, I could feel it. Like I feel, and it feels like suffocation when I find myself gaslighting myself. Like, girl, what are you doing? Like, it's okay. So the past couple months, I feel like since the summer, like I've just been in a really like rough spot where I'm just like, okay, I don't like where things are going. Like, what's next? Like, what am I gonna do in my career? Like, I just feel tight. And maybe because I am in a classroom right now and this is not where I want to be. So I think that's a part of it. Like, I really feel like this is not what I want to be doing right now at all. And I feel it. And I think my boss knows it too. And she's been very graceful. And we trying to get it together. But I just feel like there's so much uncertainty with me right now, like career wise. Like, I'm just like, I don't know how to function right now. And when I have those moments of uncertainty or I feel sad or depressed, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever, you got to keep going. Like, you got these bills, like the bills ain't gonna stop. So just do it, like whatever. So I'm not giving myself the grace to feel like I don't want to be in this spot. And let's start thinking about what your next moves are. Like, what are you gonna do? Um, so I think, and sometimes I just feel so overwhelmed that I can't even think about the next steps, but that's okay too. Like, feel the overwhelmness. I don't think that's a word, but whatever. Like, feel that. Be overwhelmed. Yes. And feel it, and that's okay. So I think that's what I'm taking away. Like, just the awareness of it all.
One of the clips that I sent you, there was a guy on Steve Harvey's show, and he was like, so many people come to me and say, like, oh, how can I help my dad? How can I help my sister? How can I help my whatever?
Yep.
Like, stop doing drugs or whatever. And he was like, sometimes you got to get out the way.
Yep.
And let them go through it.
Yep.
Because that's what will get them to where they need to be.
Yes. Yep.
Right. And sometimes I think when we forego feeling, we take away process.
Yes.
Right.
Ooh,
Because
that's
it's
good.
like, oh, I don't want to feel this way. But it's like, maybe I need to feel that way so that I can process
Yeah.
the why and the how, and then I can figure a way out.
Mhm.
But if I just keep avoiding, I still feel this way. I just don't acknowledge it.
Yep.
And I have no map on how to get out.
Yeah.
Because I'm focused on avoidance.
Yes.
Right. So it's like, wow, I think it's hard to watch other people struggle and suffer. It's hard to watch ourselves, which is why we avoid it, I think.
Yep.
Because it's like who wants to literally watch someone suffer? Then it's like you're technically doing that to yourself.
Yeah.
When you're feeling like you have to experience the suffering.
And nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to do that.
No.
But it's like, what if that's the next step to get to the next step?
Yep. To get to where you're trying to go, child.
Right.
Yeah.
So what if there's some learning in there that makes it so that when I come out, I'm not even the same person. Like, because I think a lot of times when we feel, it's like, I don't want to feel that. I just want to go back to where I was before.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe it's like, you can't go back there.
Nope.
You can't go back to where you were before.
Nope.
You're not that person anymore.
No. Yep.
So now you need to evolve, and this feeling is your evolution.
Exactly.
It's literally growing pains.
Yep. That's good.
So,
yep.
So yeah. I'm talking to myself because there's a lot of stuff that I don't want to feel.
Girl, and I'm listening
especially
to you
when
because
it's
I'm like,
inconvenient. I'd be like, now why we gotta do this today?
Like, no, ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. Especially like when you get bad news. I'm like, that's how, that would have been better received on next Thursday.
Right.
I can pencil that in.
Who was that? Was that Chanel? Who was like on a schedule when I'm gonna cry?
It's just like,
hilarious.
I kind of got a lot going on today. Don't have time for crying in the shower.
No.
I could, however, do it next Thursday.
I'm going to pencil that in.
Right. This Thursday is already booked.
I can't.
Got a lot going on.
Listen.
Plan on traveling. Can't be here.
No, listen. Nope. I need to cry in my own space, so we got to make sure I'm at home.
Exactly. Got to be at home. Right.
So, yeah.
So this week doesn't work for me.
It's out.
Right.
Goodness. But no, that is so good. So good.
And unfortunately, emotions don't work that way. They just pop up.
Girl.
Unannounced, uninvited, and apparently unintended.
And then you just crying in the elevator. Like, what the heck? How did I get here?
Listen.
So, yes. Whew. But no, that's good. I'm definitely taking notes on all of this. because I mean it hits us all. So yeah, but I love that with the guy, the gentleman on Steve Harvey said, like, you got to get to that rock bottom because that's gonna be the foundation. You have to.
Yeah, like maybe that's the foundation.
Yeah.
The fear is that you don't know, and like for me, why I choose not to feel sometimes is because I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
Mm,
Is this gonna last for an hour?
yeah.
Because I might be able to pencil that in. But if this is gonna spiral, then
Yeah.
I don't have time.
We don't have time for that. That's good.
Got stuff to do.
That is good.
then
The
it's gonna-
unknown.
Because then I feel unproductive. You know, like this is gonna take. If I gotta feel for a long time, like I got other stuff to do.
That's so good.
You know, so it's like it becomes, or at least it feels inconvenient and unproductive.
Mm,
But it actually is the work.
it's the word.
It's so it indeed is productive.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You just don't perceive it as being productive.
Yep. It's that preparation for that next
Right.
step that you got to go through it. Man.
Right.
But that's always tough as humans. So yeah.
Right.
Man. All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties. Remember, acknowledge your feelings to yourself
Yes.
and to others. Stop letting others gaslight you and stop gaslighting yourself.
Period. Stop doing it today.
Until next time.
Yes.
Heal.
Heal.